Hello everyone, this is Stephanomical and welcome back to the third episode of the Nottingham Forest Career Mode. And in this episode we're going to go straight into the final of Preseason. It's the final of the tournament that we joined against Estoril Praia. We've got a chance of winning the money, so let's do this. But before we do, I'm just going to show you some of the changes that I made to the squad. I'm adding some squad roles in, as you can see, Pineos and Lehigh. I'm going to get them overlapping in the midfield, and then also I'm going to have the players drifting out wide, try and get them in free roam, so we can attack with a bit more fluency and get the win that we so desperately need in this episode. And it was almost the best start possible. The through ball from Rito Oliveira is a good save from the goalkeeper, but somehow it was just offside. And look at that on the replay, so close to nearly taking an early lead. But Estoril Praia start brilliantly as well. They pass it out wide, they hit the post with the shot, and it drops straight to their attacker Amado, and we're 1-0 down after just 12 minutes of the game. It was lucky from them, but we're going to have to respond in the best way possible. As you can see here on the replay, how lucky that is just to drop straight to his feet, and we're 1-0 down in the early stages of the match. But we respond pretty well. Pineos down the left-hand side with Reed. That overlapping that I mentioned earlier, he hits the shot, but it's straight at the goalkeeper, but it's a chance and hopefully we can build on that. But Estoril Praia were playing pretty well. As you can see, a great through ball down the middle, but Mendes from the right wing, it's a great block and we nearly go 2-0 down. And then from the resulting corner, we seem to deal with it at first. Mendes brings it out from the back, but he loses it again. The ball goes in and we go 2-0 down. And the first silverware before the season begins is truly in doubt now. Even though we already have some money from getting through to the final, hopefully we can get that silverware, but it nearly gets worse. The ball in is just headed over by Jack Hobbs for another corner. But we get a chance to pull the goal back. The ball into Oliveira, who holds it up, threads it through to Reed, who's through on goal. All he has to do is beat the keeper, but his tame shot is saved easily, and another chance of getting back into the game is lost. But that's how it finishes at half time. Estoril Praia are 2-0 up and we have it all to do in the second half. Hopefully some changes will help us do that. Lansbury have been pretty ineffective, so I decided to bring on some fresh legs with Robert Tesha, and hopefully that will help us get a bit more drive into the midfield and hopefully pull a goal back early on. But Estoril Praia start well, and only a good save from Dora de Vries prevents us from going 3-0 down. I decided then to make some changes as I bring on Williams for Reed and also Cohen for Pineos. And Williams is involved from the start as the ball eventually finds its way through to Oliveira, who goes onto the left-hand side. All he has to do is find a player in the box, lifts it over to Ward, who heads just over the bar. And that was our chance, I think, our last chance of getting back into this game. And as you can see here, they're just passing it about in the 90th minute, but Hobbs is having none of it. He flies straight into the back of him, but that's the final whistle. We lose 2-0. Unfortunately, we couldn't get the money that we needed, but we still got nearly 2 million from being in the tournament, so hopefully we can use that towards some transfers. And for the first time this season I used the trading. I put Assombalonga, Walker, Mendes, Lansbury and Osborne on. All young players, and hopefully we can get them up pretty quickly. I decided to put them all on separate drills and not put more than one of the same player in. But as you can see, the growth is not that great. Only Lansbury and Osborne do pretty well on it, to be fair. But hopefully as the season goes on we'll get those stats up and get some players that are capable of firing us out of the Championship. And speaking of players that will help us get out of the Championship, Daniel Bentley's scout report is completed, and as you can see, a pretty good all-round goalkeeper and also cheap and young, so hopefully if we be able to sign him, we can put him on the training and he'll be a top-class Championship goalkeeper. And although he is pretty crucial to Southend, he's only got a year left on his contract, and my chairman recommends signing him for about £550,000 to £750,000, even though he is worth about £1 million. And in the search for a fullback, the younger players I'm getting through aren't that great, so I decided to put on another instruction where the players aren't that young and hopefully be able to get a first team quality fullback who isn't that expensive as well. And in my inquiry for Daniel Bentley, Southend want £1.6 million, but I decided to offer the minimum that I could with my chairman, which was £550,000, so I'll go with that and hopefully I'll be able to sign him for the least amount possible. And Emilio Ensue is recommended to me as a first team quality fullback who isn't promising. So I'll look at him, and I also look and see that Pereira is on loan at Nice, so I can't actually sign him, so I have to forget about him and move on. But we also see that Bentley's bid is rejected, so I end up putting it up to about £675,000, and hopefully we'll still be able to sign him for the amount that my chairman said we could do. But thankfully a bid has come in for Danny Fox and it's gratefully accepted. £450,000 from Leeds United. I'm going to accept that straight away. Nearly £500,000, I'll take that. But also our bid for Daniel Bentley is accepted for £675,000. I decided to put him on £7,500 hopefully, because I don't want to put him up too high. And also important first team player because I'm not sure if he's going to go straight into the squad. And hopefully he will accept those terms. But moving on from transfers, we have a second training session of the episode. I changed it a little bit with the players, end up having a Assombalonga and 2 for Mendes, 1 for Osborne and also 1 for Pinillos to see how they go on, and get some pretty good results apart from Pinillos, so hopefully they'll improve pretty quickly. And we also accept loan bids for Tyler Walker and George Grant. But the news we've been waiting for is that Daniel Bentley accepts our terms, so thankfully we sign him on a 4-year deal. But this is our next target, Jordan Abita from Reading, a really promising left back. Already rated 70, only 21 and worth £1.3 million. I decided to inquire to Reading to how much they want for him. And they come back saying that they want £2.4 million for the player, but I'm not going to bid that much. But we also get the news that the press think we're going to finish about 5th in the league, so we've been given automatic promotion as a target, but also we're expected to finish 5th by the press. And we have our next training session, we have some pretty poor results to be honest, only Assombalonga, but he does go up in rating to a 71, so that's fantastic, and hopefully he'll keep improving as the season goes on. But I just wanted to show you this as well, Sado Berahino is at QPR, I don't know what that's all about. But also with the signing of Daniel Bentley, we can loan list Dimitar Evtimov. And just before the first game of the season, which is at home to Ipswich Town in the Championship, I just wanted to show you some of the settings that I'm going to have for the players. I'm going to have Oliveira drifting out wide a little bit because I think he's good at holding up the ball but also bringing others into the play. And also with Assombalonga, I decided to have him a bit more balanced and staying central because I think he can get behind defenders a bit better and hopefully he'll be able to link up pretty well with Nelson Oliveira. And this is the starting lineup that I decided to go with. It's a back four of Pinillos, Mancien, Hobbs and Lehigh with De Vries in goal, Tesche as a holding midfielder, Mendes and Ward in the wings, Lansbury in attacking midfield, and Assombalonga and Oliveira up front. Let's see how this goes. And it's some good play to start off the match. Again, Pinillos down the left hand side, linking up with the midfielders, Tesche and Lansbury, passes it inside to Assombalonga, and Lansbury makes a pretty good run, and Assombalonga tries to find him with a lofted through ball, but it goes straight through to Bialkowski. But Ipswich find themselves on the attack, and an awful clearance from De Vries nearly leads to a goal as Orr just heads over the bar. But in the 26th minute we do see the first goal of the game as Skuse finds space on the outside of the box and rifles it straight into the corner. It was a great goal, but we find ourselves 1-0 down halfway into the first half. But then great play from Lansbury, who gets past the defence, hasn't really got the pace but strikes it, and it's a fantastic save in the end from Bialkowski. I thought this was a goal kick, but he just managed to get a fingertip to it. Apart from that, Ipswich were the better team and they were attacking with a lot more purpose than I was. Even though this was a half chance, it just shows that they were getting their shots away, unlike myself. And for the rest of the half, I was giving the ball away constantly in the defensive midfield, as you can see here from Hobbs. And another chance for Ipswich through Brew here nearly leads to a goal as De Vries has to pull out a fantastic save to keep the score at 1-0. And it's another case of the ball being given away in defence as Hobbs, who's been guilty of that several times in the first half, gives it straight to the Ipswich midfield, but the ball over isn't great and it eventually leads to a goal kick. But that's how the first half ends. It was a poor first half really, not many chances were being created, and also I was giving the ball away too much in the midfield and defence, so I decided to change back to the default and also a 4-2-2-2 formation because Tesh was being overrun as a defensive midfielder, so I also decided to drop Lansbury back with him and have Ward and Mendes as the attacking midfielders. And then we kicked off for the second half, and as you can see already, the formation working, Lansbury and Tesche linking up in the defensive midfield, and then handing it over to Assombalonga, who sees a great run from Mendes, and all he has to do is put the ball in, but there's only one player in the box, he lifts it over, but it's caught by Bialkowski. But we were already seeing an improvement in the performance as Tesche was the next player to test Bialkowski with a fizzing shot, but he manages to just parry it away to Chambers. As we were attacking, more players were getting forward. Again, Assombalonga threading it through to Mendes, who's got pace on the right hand side. All he has to do is find a player in the box, but there's only one player there, and it goes behind Lansbury and is taken away by the defenders. Again, Mendes on the right hand side. He lifts it in, but it's scrambled away by the defenders again. He was becoming more influential as the game went on, and again he brings the ball in from the right hand side, but it's punched away by the goalkeeper. But we were testing him more often, and again Tesche bringing it out to Mendes, who manages to find Lehigh on the right hand side. He crosses it in this time, but it's punched away again by Bialkowski in the Ipswich goal. Another attack finds its way eventually to Lansbury, who finds a bit of space just like Skuse in the first half. His attempt though is well saved by the goalkeeper. As you can see here on the replay, what a save that was. It was going straight into the left hand side of the goal. So I decided to also bring on Reed and Blackstock for Nelson Oliveira and Jamie Ward. And this is a great chance for Mendes, who expertly spins his defender, but his shot is blocked by Berra, and that was a great chance to equalise. But here, McGoldrick, an ex-Forest player, smashes the shot and it hits the back stanchion, and in the last chance of the game, Lehigh, who was injured, tries to force his way through, but it's blocked. And unfortunately that's how it ended. 1-0 to Ipswich, but it was a frustrating result as we really did deserve in the second half to pull it back and at least equalise. But that's the end of the episode. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and also subscribe for the next one to see how we respond on Tuesday, and I'll see you all later.